Hi,
Me.
everyone. My name is Dee, and I am here with Donna. Go ahead, introduce yourself.
Hi, y'all. It's Donna. Nice to meet
And
you.
I love that. Nice to meet you. And we are trying to start like a little conversation. We are called Intersectional Intellectuals. That is a lot coming out of the mouth. But as we introduce ourselves, it'll kind of explain a little bit more why that is our title. So this is the first episode, so stick with us. As the show goes on, the podcast, we will get a little bit better with the formatting, but we just kind of want to give you an introduction to what we're trying to do and who we are. So in next shows to come, we'll even say, hey, if you're new here, go back to show one. We can introduce ourselves and you can see what you're getting into. If we're for you, then we're for you. If we're not, that's okay. Just keep it moving. So we're going to establish a baseline, talk about rules of engagement, set our intentions for each episode, and then just kind of give you an idea of some of the topics we'll be going through. It was funny. We sat down to have this conversation and we're like, what are the topics? And then an entire season just like spilled out of us. And it wasn't even on the topics list, was it? Like,
No, it
well,
was, I think when our very first topic just so happened to be like something we spit out like during that conversation. Um, and what's also crazy is the fact that we got that entire season done. Um, Pretty much like our entire outline for our podcast just within like an hour, I'd say. And
mm,
I don't know, for some people, they're probably like, oh, that's, enough time. But it's like, that's a lot to do in 1 hour.
because like I'm not gonna lie, you're the one who came up with like the idea of having seasons, and I was like, oh snap! So it's like then it became like, oh, so what does that first season look like? And then next thing you know, we got like 10 whole sessions in, and we didn't even like hit the like the beginning of like, oh, so these are the topics we wanted to go into. It was just like this topic, but in these other formats, these other, you know what I mean? These other subtopics.
Mm-hmm.
Because the moment was like, girl, that's a whole other subtopic. I was like, dang, you're right. You're right. So I'm excited about that. So I guess every season we're going to have I don't even want to say a base topic. I don't think I want to like limit us, but this first season, I think that one of the most important things we said, like in order to have the other conversations, these conversations need to be had first to kind of see the perspective of like what we're talking about, how we're talking about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So so what is the baseline you want to establish? I'm going to put that in your hands.
Oh, you
Listen,
gonna put
you're the
me
one
on
who
the
got
spot like this?
to
Oh
jump.
my God.
What is one of the, so we'll go back and forth. So what is one of the baselines you hope to establish?
Um, in terms of the show, right?
Yeah.
I think one of my main things is consistency in behavior, and perspective, right? So it's like no matter what we're talking about, I do want to make sure it's like we're not looking like we're wavering on who we are
Mhm.
and uh our opinions, right? Like I don't want the negative backlash, right? Of comments or people or even other creators, right? Including people that we watch and may like,
Mhm.
to influence um who we are,
Mhm.
and how we want to move forward with this show. Um, just because I don't want to have to, number one, constantly apologize for anything. I want to say everything with my chest wholeheartedly and mean it. And not have to constantly apologize. I'm not saying I don't want to apologize because obviously if I'm wrong, I'm a person, I'm a human, right? Like I make mistakes and I may need to apologize about something, but to constantly have to get on defending myself, to constantly have to like take back what I'm saying, nah. So I definitely want to be consistent in, um, I guess thinking and behavior.
I like that. I'm gonna like add on to that because you made a good comment like, okay, so there'll be times where I'm going to be wrong. So there's a difference between taking accountability for something that truly like, okay, so this was the wrong side of history versus no, I really feel this way. This is my authentic opinion from the perspective and lived experience I have. Those are different conversations. So I would definitely say yes to that. And then also I think that as we grow, our opinions of something may change, but that's not the same as us wavering back and forth. That's like, girl, so like even me thinking of like the woman I was 5 years ago compared to the woman I am now, conversations may look different. So if this is something that goes on for years, conversations may look different. And that's the conversation we'll have. Like, okay, so in hindsight,
In hindsight.
so that's the conversation. But I think that I like the idea of just being authentic in everything that we're saying. I love that idea. And then opening up for the community to do the same, but still keeping in mind that this is a spot for people who are in intersectional identities and marginalized intersections to come and have conversations. You and I have different life experiences coming into this moment. And so our conversations and our opinions are going to be different. And that's one of the things that like I really like about our conversation together. It's always like that. We're coming from way completely different areas. Life has you know what I mean?
Life.
But when and I think that's probably going to take us into like why we're establishing this baseline and how we're coming up with our name. Because I remember one of the questions you asked was like, should we talk about like our religious or political affiliations? And I'm like, girl, once we say our intersections, pretty clear of like where we're at, So
This is where I stand.
exactly. Kind of like you'll know once we kind of give our intro if we're for you or not, according to what we are, because I could already tell you if I start out like, hey, I'm not a Christian, there's going to be a large part of the audience is like, this is not for me. And that's okay. And I'm not a Christian. So, like, I rock with ancestors, and some people have an opinion about that. And that's okay. So,
I
those
can't
people
wait
can,
to get to that topic too.
right?
The idea of Christianity and Christians and their
See,
hmm.
see that we already lost like 80,000 people right there on that one, this one, and that's okay. That is
Just make sure you
okay.
come back for that episode though, because we're gonna have to tell you about yourself. We're gonna have to sit you down and tell you about yourself. All right.
Like
Just saying.
lovingly or not, we don't
Oh, of
know.
course. Absolutely. All love. All love.
I'll
But
love. Okay, okay.
definitely it's like the stern but loving aunt, like, sweetheart, come here, let me sit you down. Let me sit you down and
Mm-hmm,
tell you something. All right.
mm-hmm.
Oh,
Um,
also, we need to give a little bit of a disclaimer. Currently, my sister is traveling right now, so her connection sometimes will go in and out. Just like her camera. I don't know if you just saw that, but it is getting blurry
it'll
here
be
and
blurry,
there.
but I'll come back. I'll come back.
Right. She'll be back in the picture. But yes, it's just because right now she's out of the country.
Yeah, I definitely like to give rich auntie vibes where I'm traveling the world. So I'm rich auntie vibing in Bali, Indonesia at the moment, and then I'll be rich auntie vibing in Nigeria for a minute, and then I'll be rich auntie vibing in Vietnam. So I am always on the go. So hopefully, the more I travel, the more information and cultural awareness I can bring to the topics that we have. Right before the camera went on, I was like, girl, am I too American? Because I have an opinion about this situation. And I feel like it's because the way we grew up in America. So hopefully as I travel more, again, that comes to me saying like there's this opportunity for growth in my mindset. You know what I mean? So I may feel some sort of way and I may like look back and be like, you know what? Now that I realize it, it could be the trauma of living in America. So like stuff like that. So, those things happen. But yeah, so Donna, you want to start off by introducing yourself? Like giving your intersections?
Ugh, all right, because I guess she had to find out one day, right? My family does not know a lot about me. Well, they probably do because they had assumptions, right? I am a queer, currently identified as bisexual Black woman in America, unfortunately. But I am also not practicing religion. I do practice certain, I guess it sounds weird, right? Like I do certain religious practices. Like I still pray over my food, right? I just will never let that go. I have to bless my food. I have to, I
I
have
mean, and
to.
like, and the idea of blessing your food is depending on how you look at it, it could be setting intentions for this food, or it could
Mhm.
just be protecting yourself with this food. Like, so like I don't that's not specifically Christian, but I think that because that's our way into the blessing of the food,
Mhm.
automatically assume, you know what I mean? Like attach it to
Like I
Christianity.
still say the God is great blessing, okay? Like yeah. Um but because of earlier childhood traumas, I kind of walked away from my religion. Growing up, I practiced on one side of the family Christianity and Baptist. On the other side, I practiced well Christianity and then Seventh-day Adventist, right? My entire life has been about religion. I grew up in the church, from going to Sunday school, going to girls' night, with this one church that was local that everybody knew, um, to being in the choir, to being in like what was it? I think it's like Bible study that was like Tuesday nights at 6 p.m. or something like that. Like I was in the church from Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and either Thursday or Friday. So that's like at least 4 nights a week, like growing up. And then when I was with my mom's side of the family, it was Saturday was church for Seventh-day Adventists, but Friday to Sunday, anybody who's practiced knows you have to live this for a child what felt like a very boring life. Um, I didn't see the point in religion anymore, considering like for me, and I say this with the most respect to people who practice the religion, but for me to use my brain and have common sense, um, it just it no longer aligned with me and my morals and how I see life. And we'll get into that later also because that's gonna be another chapter in a season.
Season two.
Yeah. Um, but I am currently working on a lot of things to get to where I want to be. And uh my first step to that is healing. And I think that's also part of what this show and this channel will be for me is like it's healing. It's finally finding like my community, finding the people who truly understand me, who have either gone through similar things and can give me advice on how to handle this or how to proceed. But yeah, I am not the traveling aunt right now, trying to get there, but Auntie is still local in the States. So Um, however, I do travel like once a year with friends, so
She travels more than once a year. How do I know? Because I'd be traveling with her in the entire country. So this is a lie. She travels more than once a year. I just want to look in the camera firmly when I say this, firmly looking in the camera. So
Okay, let me revise that statement. I travel at least once a year with
there we go.
friends.
There we go. There we go. Yeah, because
Um,
because the group will travel. Uh,
and at the core, I am a Southern country woman. I like family is from some of the most country places. I, what is the saying? You can take the country, or you can take the girl out the country, but you can't take the country out the girl. Like,
and we'll never.
like, it's just in me, and like my sister here grew up very much with my parents, I wouldn't say forcing me, but definitely teaching me how to be independent, to not need people, which I will say is a good and a bad thing at times.
Mhm. And I
Some
definitely
of
think we're going to hit on that this season as we
huh?
talk about. So I think we're going to like hit on that topic as we talk about mental health this season.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I think that's crap. I don't remember what episode that was. I mean, it's probably gonna come up in episode 2.
Yeah, it's going to be in multiple areas because it's going to hit different depending on the subtopic. So yeah, so we're
That's
definitely
true.
going to talk about that. Yeah.
But I think that's pretty much me. I am
She
also,
also knows ASL.
that is true. That is
Yeah.
true. I grew up
She's
with a
an
deaf
inspiring singer with
brother.
stage fright.
You just go tell all my business, huh?
All of it. I mean, why not? But yeah,
Oh, yes, I am definitely in love with learning different languages. So, still working on the other languages though, I will say that. Duolingo has definitely been pissed at me. Uh,
oh, I thought you was about to say I've been doing it. I was like, girl, me too, girl. No, you right.
No, I was good for like 15 days, and then I don't know, just some
Just
reason.
15?
Yeah.
Girl,
Listen,
come back. Sam and
I
I are killing.
will.
Sam
I
and I are killing.
will.
And
Um,
Eli. Eli's on there with me too.
yeah, I know everybody's on there. It's crazy because had I just stuck with it back in 2016 like I wanted to, who
You
knows the
would be fluent.
languages? Yeah, who knows the number of languages I would have known by now? Like, I was trying to learn German and I loved it. Like, I
Hmm.
loved learning the German language. And I was like, oh my God, I can't wait to go and ask for. And I don't know what the fuck I was happy to ask for at the time. But I was like, I want some kind of bread. I know that. 'Cause let me tell you, them bread pastries, there's this channel I be watching. It's a German channel. Yes, you know me. I be watching food channels too. And they be making some delicious, delicious looking meals, okay?
I can believe it.
And
I
one
can
of them
believe
was like this stuffed bread thing. And I was like, bread should not be that thick and fluffy and look that good. Like, this is
it. Okay,
why
as
I
someone
got
who's
the
gluten free, bread is always that thick and fluffy. It looks that good. I've never been like, that bread don't even look that good.
some breads, because like when it comes to rye and pumpernickel,
I don't like
and
rye, but I'll mess up some pumpernickel.
I
I'll
don't
go
know, it
toe to
just
toe.
don't look right to me. Pumpernickel does not look right to me.
Close your eyes and open your mouth.
Oh, not
It's
good.
it's delicious. That's gonna be
And
one way to
then
set
I
that
was
one.
upset because I grabbed a piece of rye bread one day because it looked like marble cake to me, okay?
No.
And I put that shit in my mouth thinking it was gonna be a sweet piece of bread.
It,
And I was like, who eats this?
I mean, for was it a Reuben? It can go pretty good with a Reuben, but it's because it's like a very savory sandwich. with
I
the
don't
sweetness.
like Reuben. I don't eat the sliced corned beef and what's on there? I think sauerkraut or something like that.
Really so good for your sister. You know what, Donna? Okay, so keep going. Sorry, we got off
No, you
topic.
good. Um, and then yes, I am also aspiring to be a singer. I don't know how far I want to go with it, but I definitely want to get more comfortable with singing in front of people, than what I am now. I am like terrified because like to me, my voice is beautiful. I love it. But I also worry about like what others think. And
That's not a problem I have because I will be singing and I get Donna to sing with me because I'm a songwriter and I know my voice is not great, but I'd be like, girl, let's do it. And so, like, I've known you
be
for 3 years
belting out these notes too. I just be like, how you so comfortable like this?
for no
Like,
reason. No reason. Okay. Lack of confidence has not been a problem I've had in my life for a long time. I am 37. I'll be 38. So as you get older in life, you'll be like, F it. Let's just see how it goes. So, but literally, you just got comfortable singing in front of me this year.
and I've known you what,
3 years next month. And it
three
was just,
years?
and it wasn't even in the beginning of this year, Donna. It was like mid year this year, where I was
Mm-hmm.
like, come to my house. I wrote some songs. I need you to sing them. We're gonna do some song warm ups. And he was like, okay. And it had to go slow because like you and I, every month we go to my doctor's appointment together. And like, I was like, all right, girl, we're gonna turn up the radio. We're gonna start singing. Donna, I can't hear you. Donna, sing louder. Like,
To the point to where she's just like turning down the volume of the computer even lower and
I'm trying to
like
hear you,
I need to hear you over this. And I'm like, I'm trying, but also at the same time, we sitting in her apartment
girl.
trying not to like wake up the neighbors around, right? Or
I ain't
like
trying none of that.
disturb
None of
them.
that means anything to me at all. At
But
all.
then it doesn't even matter because the ones that were right above you, what were they doing? Like
I thought they were doing MMA, but now I'm what they're doing. I don't know. I don't know
at
what they
this
were doing.
point, they in there running football drills or something.
I'm like, sir, what are you doing? I
Like,
think they're also soccer
damn,
fans.
don't fall on me,
Millions.
please.
They get really loud when soccer games happen, so maybe they just jumping up and down. I don't know. I don't do the soccer.
But to sound like they literally tackling each other?
It does like they're slamming each other on the floor.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, that's life on the bottom floor. Yeah. Anything else you want to introduce yourself about?
Um, I don't know if I should say this or not.
I'm probably gonna say it on mine because I already know what you're talking about. I'm gonna say it on mine. You say if you say something on mine, my family all know. So
Then if you
you
gonna say it, let's say it. Let's
okay?
say
I'm
it.
saying mine. Okay, all right,
Yeah.
cool. Hi, the blur on the screen is me. It'll just stick with it. It'll tighten back up. I don't know why my camera is doing this. Hold on. Let me try something really quickly. I should have probably tried this when I wasn't talking, but let me see.
Oh,
Let me
look
just
at
get this
the curls, the hair. It was
Oh, that's why. So yeah, so for some reason, this camera solo will not. So that's why I have my travel camera, one of my travel cameras with me. All right. So pretend like you're still seeing my face. Okay. We're gonna make it a moment until I pull this back in. I was trying to make it work. Um, so
what if
whatever.
you put on a filter? Would that work? Like, would that
I
help
don't
it?
want to use too much
Excuse me.
like what's that? RAM, CPU?
Mm.
That's why. And I don't have like I have my phone here if I need to connect to the Wi-Fi. I'm sorry, connect use my phone as a hotspot, but I don't use too much CPU. So this is just what we're working with. I mean, maybe I can try and blur my background and see if that helps. We'll see how long this works. So yeah, hi. I am a nerd. I'll start there because um I'll just start with like educationally, I've always been a nerd. My first degree is in molecular microbiology. My second degree, and the one I use more often, is my English and creative writing. I'm an English professor. I'm a writer. I do private tutoring a lot. Well, not as much anymore because one thing people don't tell you when you become a professor is how much work you have to grade because we don't have graduate assistants like people think we do. So we're grading so much. And I teach 8 classes a semester, 25 plus students per class. So it's a lot. But I also use my first degree whenever I'm tutoring and things like that. So I'm a sucker for knowledge. Like I gobble up knowledge so often. And that's kind of my jam. That's one of the reasons I travel so much. That's why I talk to people because I am an introvert at heart, but I'm a talkative introvert when I'm around people. Everyone who
Not
knows me,
me.
yeah, I would rather stay home. And in fact, our friend group knows that. And so they're like, D, don't be like, it's one drop of rain in the air. You can smell it coming. You're coming over. You're not staying home. You're not canceling. Like, I like being by myself, which is why I travel alone a lot of times because I enjoy that. It gives me the time to kind of do things on my terms. Um, and that also influences how I date. I'm divorced. I was with my former spouse for 12 and a half years. I am now divorced and I am polyamorous, meaning that I don't do monogamy and I don't expect my partners to do monogamy. I'm solo poly, meaning that I like to live alone and then date my people as I go. I'm currently dating someone in a different country, in a different continent, and I absolutely love the idea that I don't have to be with someone on a daily basis. I do have autism and ADHD, so those also probably have something to do with the way I navigate life and the way I operate in so much of my life. Um, and it's definitely gonna have a lot to do with the way this channel operates because the ADHD moments be happening where we'll hit one topic and it'll bring a string of topics, and then the autism finds the patterns between the so like I will always try to bring it back though. We'll try to like bring it back. I am also queer. So I'm sure that'll probably come up into conversations, but it does also influence the way I navigate life. Like I stated earlier, I am not Christian. I did grow up in a Christian environment. I was very enthusiastically Christian. I was a Sunday school teacher. But one of the things I did in college is I also, for a while, minored in religion, took Hebrew in order to do that. But I also just like to learn about religion and the anthropology and sociological effects of religion. And that was actually how I ended up not following Christianity as a lifestyle for me personally. I started at a very young age learning about the Bible. And when I tell you I was studious, you grow was studious. Like first thing in the morning, wake up, read the Bible, write notes. Last thing before I went to bed, Bible notes. I was Sunday school teaching. But for me, it was one of those moments where I was reading something in the Bible and it referenced the book that wasn't in the Bible. And I was like, why isn't this book in the Bible? And so I have a very close personal family friend who is a pastor, and he let me have access to his literature, his religious literature. And then it sent me down this thing where it's like, oh, I don't, the plot holes, the plot holes just can't, it's not. And so like that was my exiting out of religion. And then to understand the effects of religion in the Black community, especially in America, also kind of navigated my way against it. And then being a woman, I am from the
Mm.
country. I am from the country though. I'm from a very small town called Otter Creek, Florida. Population no more than 50 people since I've lived there. I grew up there, but my family purchased a lot of land straight out of slavery, and we still have quite a bit of the land. We've sold some over time. So that's my country roots. I mean, we still have hunting property. This is not my real accent. This is my real accent, but as you can tell, this is why I don't use it because uh, typically I live in Orlando, and talking like this in Orlando when I first got there, I was at Chick-fil-A and they like people would like literally come into me and they were like, "Oh my God, where are you from?" And I was like, "Florida." And they're like, "No, no, no, like before Florida, where were you?" because we don't have that accent here. And I'm like, if you go right up that road, we all sound like this. And so then I had to get an Orlando accent because it was just weird, because I didn't know it was weird, but they were like, a Black person who talks like that. Let's investigate. And so, as an English professor teaching at a college that has a lot of international students, again, this my regular accent wouldn't work. So, if you hear the accent slip, it happens on certain words. I will go back and be like, let me change that. But yeah, I'm trying to think of anything else. I am the child of military parents. So I feel like military kids are like the same as preachers' kids, where we like go the opposite direction of the military like energy. I am definitely that person. I went the opposite way, but I do like that my parents' military experience gave me a very well-rounded childhood, I would say. Very cultured, and I continue to live in that culture, like that the learning of cultures and the idea of traveling. I am like one of 10, 11 siblings. I have like 25 nephews and nieces. Like, I have a huge family. Me and one of my god sisters were the only ones without kids. So I'm definitely in my rich auntie energy. I'm loving every step of my life. I'm at that stage, and I think this happens in your 30s. It happened for me in my 30s, post cancer, when I really start to evaluate my life. But like that moment of just like, girl, are you living the life you want? And if not, why not? And then understanding like a lot of the idea of like how women in particular have to navigate life is based on like societal expectations. And then in America, we have these very strict societal expectations. But I was like, but society don't pay my bills. And then that just changed everything for me. And it was like, I'm the one who has to live this around. So I want it to be what I want it to be. So yeah. And I am still trying to be in my writing bag. I took some time off to have like a real job. And then I realized like, again, it's like, it's weird because I think that so like for me, once you realize that there's so much of you that can change, my whole perspective on everything changed. So if I was able to change my religion, and then understanding that I feel like the whole idea of gender is just social programming, why can't what is considered a real job be something that I love?
Sorry.
So like, everything else opens up for you once you realize it's all fake. And so that's where I am in my life, realizing that like a lot of things are fake until I make what I want to be real. When it comes to how I show up in life and how I am representing myself. Now, the way other people perceive me is not necessarily that's not my business. Um, but like the way I show up in life is my business. And so that's kind of where I am. Donna, you muted. Oh, okay. So, so yeah, so that's about me. I'm trying to think of anything. So I'm very blessed to be able to come from such a loving family where everyone knows who I am. I don't hide any parts of my identity to anyone. All four of my parents are fully aware of me being polyamorous, fully aware of me being queer, fully aware of me being non-Christian. So you're gonna get the most authentic version of me every time that we're here in this space, because that's the only way I show up in this world. So yeah. So as you can, and I'm also non-party affiliated. I want to say that. I feel like that needs to be said because there's going to be someone who's always talking about you liberals, you Democrats. I am non-party affiliated. I'm gonna put that out there. Non-party affiliated. Okay.
And as I've stated before,
Huh?
and as I've stated before, my family does not know about me at all, but I guess they will now.
If they
Um,
watch, I mean,
I told my mom to stay on YouTube or Facebook.
um,
Yeah.
Donna, this may be,
Huh?
this may be YouTube.
Listen.
I told my mom she can't come to my TikTok though. Even though my mom knows everything, I realized my TikTok people and my Instagram people are different people. Because I posted one thing on TikTok, it did really well, having a conversation about polyamory. On Instagram, 2 likes. And I know they were like, "Ooh, I don't know if I should like." It was definitely the 2 likes weren't my mom. Like that's the thing. My mom wasn't even in the two of them. And so I was like, "Ooh, different different crowds." Instagram people knew me from growing up in a small town. Because like when I say like my graduating class was 35 people, small town, and that's me skipping a grade and still knowing everyone in the grade that I skipped to. Small town. But yeah, so I can tell like the two, like this is not gonna be my Instagram energy, probably most likely. But this is giving TikTok. Oh, unless y'all don't have TikTok by the end of the year. USA, y'all not gonna have TikTok.
You know, I'm not on a lot of these damn apps like that anyways.
Okay. I was gonna say get a VPN, put it to another country, get TikTok. It's an option. So
Damn, you got me out here
with a
scamming.
VPN,
Yeah.
I'm scheming right now. Okay, I'm just kidding. So
Um,
the next part we want to go into is every time we come into this space, we want to set intentions of what we hope this episode is like. And so we're going to set intentions in 2 different parts. The first part is the episode. And so the second part is going to be happening at the end. We want to do like a creative meditation. So as you heard, Donna wants to further her singing and become more comfortable singing. I am in my writing bag and I want to continue that and grow that. But I'm also an artist and my artistry is also makeup. So there'll be times where I just want to like come over here and do like a real cool makeup look. Or I don't know what it's gonna look like, but at the end we're gonna see what it look like together, makeup look. And it's not always really cool. We just never know. Um, Want to do take that time to do some journaling, setting some intentions. Please go ahead and get a journal. You can use your phone. I use my notes app a lot on my phone for a lot of things. So I want to go ahead and have that close to you now so you don't have to get up later. We'll give you a moment as we consider what our intentions are for the episode. So, Donna, have you been thinking of your intention?
Intentions for the episode. Um, I would say authenticity, honesty, and integrity. Um,
Mm,
that's my main thing. And I think that will probably be it, like going forward for most of them. Just keeping myself accountable to stay on that track, if that makes sense. Um, I just want to make sure like I am working to become as open and as authentic and honest as you are about who you are, what you like, what you do, things like that, right? And so I'm wanting that for myself because I had a thought the other day, and it really had me thinking.
hmm,
And I was like, maybe part of my like depression or anxiety and stuff like that comes from not being able to be who I want to be as a whole. Um, but also because I know I'm still trying to figure out who that is. Um, and so that's just this constant battle. Um, and yeah, I just want to make sure I stay out of here and stay out here.
mm,
Remain present and make sure I don't get in my head a lot about what I'm saying or like how I'm saying it or making sure that like I say something without saying it, right? Like just
mm.
again, say everything with my chest and wholeheartedly.
The whole chest, nothing but the chest. So help you ancestors. That's like the whole like, do you promise to say everything with your chest, the whole chest, nothing but the whole chest, so help you ancestors? I do. I do.
I do. I do. Oh,
Okay. I would say that I like the authenticity and transparency. Um, that's definitely the name of my game. I think that one of the things that I have, I wouldn't necessarily say struggled with, but I've grappled with is how much of me to put in an online space because of my job or because of like students finding this and being like, that's how Professor D really feels. I'm like, yes, on my whole chest. But I understand how to um I was about to say compartmentalize, but that would kind of be a lie. So I don't believe in respectability politics. And the older I get, the more I realize I don't actually believe in them because a lot of times respectability politics stifle people of color, stifle people who come from marginalized backgrounds. And so I don't like to participate in those. And even within my classrooms, I don't like to participate in those. So, like for my students teaching Learning 1101, we will have to learn like standard American English, but by 1102, I'm like, we don't code switch in here. So coming to this space, I want to have that same energy where we don't code switch in here is the vibe, right? And then that way we can create a community of our people coming together in the comments, whatever you look like, whatever demographic you come from, but knowing that when you're in the comments, you don't have to code switch. We're literally just coming to this space transparent, vulnerable, but also setting this space up for a safe space of love, caring community. So that's my intentions for today. Yeah.
okay. Real quick about the respectability politics, right? Um, because there was something you said where you were like, it's oftentimes put on colored people. And I started noticing the newest way of doing that, respectability politics and stuff, is being like, well, we shouldn't do things because other people do it. We should want to be better than that. Like, why do we have to do something because they're doing it? It's like, that's not what we're saying. What we're saying is, you do not come this hard at other people because y'all will make it seem like it's about, oh, being a woman, right? But you only say this to women of color. And it's like, we should want better for ourselves. We do want better for ourselves. We want you to just leave us the f- alone. How about that?
But see, oh Donna, don't make us do this today. But I gotta say it. I gotta say it. I so like that comes into so I'm an intersectional feminist, and I know you're gonna be hearing the word intersectional a lot, and here's why. Because intersectionalism says, as a woman, I support you regardless of what your womanhood looks like.
Hmm.
Because there's no wrong way to woman. Even when I disagree with you, even when I think in my soul, you are putting me back 50 years with your belief systems. There is no wrong way to woman because that's the way you show up in a space if it's authentically you. And I can disagree with the way you woman every day, all day, but I respect you.
And it doesn't mean I'm
That,
going to take your right to woman that way away.
that part, that part. I am never going to be in a position where I'm saying, you're not womaning the way I want you to. I want to remove your right to woman.
Exactly.
So, and that's the same thing when it comes to peopling. You don't black people the way I want you to black people, so I want to remove your right to black people. I'm not going to do that. You
And
don't queer
right.
queering, or I think you should queer. I want to remove your right to queer. You know what I mean? Like these are not things you're going to hear me say or do.
And I remember hearing someone on TikTok one day who was like, Black people aren't a monolith until y'all want us to be a monolith. Like, you can't say that we're not a monolith and we don't all, practice this and we don't practice that while also trying to enforce your practices on someone else. And I'm like, exactly. Exactly. You cannot tell me that because I want to run to a fucking Walmart and a bonnet and PJs, that makes me less desirable. That makes me less of a woman. That makes me not the standard Black person, right? Like, oh, why y'all trying to make such culture a part of Black culture? It's not. And it's like, it's not a part of your Black culture. And just say that. It's not a part of your definition or your ideal of Black culture. And that's fine because growing up, what I saw a lot was people in bonnets and PJs and slides or house slippers running to the store. Hell, I've seen people's mothers still in their goddamn nightgowns with their bonnets on in the car, dropping them off to school. Okay. No,
I
you're
lived
not
in my
gonna see.
PJs for 4 years of my life. Like went to school. I had a PJ set I wore to my job until Sophie was like, "Girl, you can't wear your pajamas to work." I was like, "But it's like a little cardigan." And she was like, "No, ma'am, no, ma'am."
She said it is not. I know you think it is, but it is not.
So I am a PJ person through and through, and I will still rock a good sweatpants and PJ, but your girl will dress up. But
Oh
like,
my
it,
God.
here's the thing,
Mhm.
and I said this before. I'm gonna say this again. You're gonna hear it a lot of times. Black people aren't a monolith, but sometimes we do monolithic-ish. And what I mean by that is the 92%. If you know, you know. Or the situation of you ever seen like tell me you black without telling me you black, and then they'll like show like the same hair set everybody had with like the black rat tail comb with the orange comb with the big teeth. We'd be like, oh, we all had that, right? Or
Mhm.
vapor rub, you just know. You already know you're gonna be covered in slather and vapor rub, Robitussin. So like we're black people aren't a monolith, but sometimes we do monolithic-ish,
Sorry,
right?
I had to plug my computer in.
That's okay. So we want this space to be that space where regardless of the intersections with us that you share, you are comfortable and transparent and have fun in this section, our comment section. And we want to keep it respectful at all times. And although our channel will not be a channel full of clapbacks, we will if we need to. Whole chest, nothing but the chest. So help me ancestors. I don't want it to be that. I want it to be great
That
discourse.
is our phrase. That's
I
gonna be
know.
our phrase. Say it with the whole chest and nothing but the chest. So
So help
help
me.
me, ancestors. Yes.
So, but we want to make sure that this is safe for not just us, but for all of us. We don't get we don't get that many spaces to do that in. So we want to make sure that this is one of those. So yeah. All right. So this was just the intro, y'all. This is just
It,
us talking about us.
mhm.
Like,
This really is. And also again establishing that baseline of who we are and how we operate. This is also, because we forgot to say this in the beginning, this is not gonna be that standard like podcast of like people where you can tell it was like staged. And I don't mean to like discredit anybody's work, right? Like people do put a lot of time and effort
Mhm.
into their
Like
craft
planning.
and like
Mhm.
right planning it and making sure it looks a certain way. So it's nothing to disrespect or discredit them, right? But we don't want ours to look like that. It's straight up like you on the couch having a conversation with your older or younger sibling or your friends
Grab
or
something to turn up to. It's water. It's mineral water. I mean, but like yours don't have to be. You live your
yeah,
life.
it really don't. It also don't. So yeah, for those of you who can drink for us, please.
And I'm also eating rice crackers for breakfast in Bali. I'm gluten free. I'm
You
celiac.
lucky bastard.
Yes,
You
it's
lucky
not happening.
bastard.
So you know, this is we popping snacks.
I
Um,
forgot my snacks. I forgot my snacks. And I ain't gonna lie, I'm hungry. I'm hungry. Excuse me.
so I'm about to go into our meditation. But yeah, and then after we
Did
have,
but
oh, go ahead.
did we set our rules?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Keep it cute, and we're gonna respect that.
okay.
You
Okay.
know, that's it. Just keep it
Keep
keep
it
it smooth.
cute. Like
Mm-hmm.
us, keep it cute. Keep
Keep
it
it
cute.
cute. But going forward, one of the things we do want to do is after we have what could be spicy or very emotional conversations, I want to bring it down. I want to bring you back to peace. We want to bring you back to a level of like, that's always the energy we want to leave you with. We don't want to leave you emotionally drained. Like, I don't know why I watched that. Now I'm amped. And we don't want to do that. We want you to enjoy the conversation, be amped in the comments, but then bring it back down so that you can go throughout your day, move peacefully. Or go out through your day moving intentionally, productively, whatever intention you want to set as you leave throughout the day. And so that's going to bring us into our meditation and artist spotlight. So today I'm going to do writing for the first part because this has been a long episode of us just introducing. And I didn't start my makeup. It takes an hour to do makeup. So I'm going to do some writing. Donna, you doing singing?
Am
I, I,
I?
I don't know if that was the response I thought I was going to have. I thought I thought we were comfortably saying yes.
Oh no. A bit nervous here.
Well, I mean, what are you going to do for your creative meditation?
I'd probably write also.
Mhm. We can do that.
I
We are
also need
going
to establish songs for the episodes because I do want them to correlate with the uh the
the
episode.
episode. Okay,
Hmm.
cool. Well, you got the whole list of the season one, so I'm looking forward to you establishing. So we are going to welcome into the space. Donna, do you want to introduce the video coming in? Hold on one second.